Are you a fan of music? Any music from the 21st century? Well, this guy, Jeff Blue, he found them. He's basically anywhere and everywhere when it comes to the 21st century music. I mean, I'm talking about Linkin Park, Macy Gray, Limp Bizkit, like Nickelback. He's got connection with Nickelback. Yeah. He's everybody.
I mean, Ubastank, Better Than Ezra, just like Grandson.
Yeah.
Just so many different acts, man. This guy has been touched with or involved with or discovered. It's like freaking crazy.
Yes. I mean, he's coming on to promote his new book that's coming out, One Step Closer. So be sure to hit Books A Million and Barnes & Nobles when that comes out. And man, you're going to enjoy this interview. You really are. But that's later on the show. Now, let's get a little crazy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Holy moly, we're on episode 151 this week.
Yes.
Damn.
The downslide stretched to episod 200.
That's crazy.
I'm just going to say it because look how fast we did these 50.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, woo.
I know. It felt like no time at all, man. No time at all. Well, you guys know your host with the most, myself, J-Lo Fantastic, and the one and only Mouse.
What's up?
And, of course, special appearance by the one and only Peanut the Puppy Dog.
Yes, you guys saw so much love for him when he popped up last week. Will he pop up again this week? Probably. It's a good bet.
Exactly.
I mean, thank you for all the love for Peanut, though. That's awesome.
Exactly. You guys can follow him on Instagram if you want. Peanut the Puppy at 20 on Instagram.
There you go. That's right. Even the dog has I mean, it's all about social media.
Exactly. But guys, we have a jam-packed show for you this week.
Woo.
I mean, literally, our moniker is, if it's going down in Hollywood, we're talking about it.
That's right.
And there was a lot of stuff going down in Hollywood.
Oh my gosh, man. So much happening this week. Like Monday,
yeah.
The rundown would normally have been filled. Like it looked like it was a full rundown on Monday. I was just like, what is going on? Props to our producer, Jason, because there was so much popping and happening this week, and he caught all of it. He was on top of it. He got it, and you're gonna get it.
That's right, man.
So be prepared. This is like a really long industry news segment.
Yes,
let you guys know.
Be prepared. But before we get this thing started, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where the new merchandise is available right now on our website, guys. It looks freaking fantastic. People have been asking for a lot of podcast merch, and we are providing for it.
It's true.
You. So, I mean, you ask and you shall receive.
That's how we do it.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see a little visual of it right now. This is why you guys need to watch the YouTube. You can see Peanut. You can see shirt designs. Like, I mean, why wouldn't you want to?
I mean,
why
come
wouldn't
on
you
now.
want to?
That's right. This logo.
And that logo
that
right
logo's
there.
on a shirt. If you guys want it, it's on a shirt. And what is it? If it's happening in Hollywood, we're talking about it.
Exactly. And, of course, you guys know you can donate to our Patreon page on our website as well.
That's right.
Start supporting the guys you love. That's what it's all about. Well, of course.
All of a sudden, we're like John Bernthal or Richard Gere.
Exactly.
Like
we are American Gigolo. That's so funny.
I guess I'm Gere and you're Bernthal. Yeah. Like, I mean, generation-wise.
Yeah.
Generation-wise.
You know. Well, let's get this thing started with some Disney news. Woo! We're so super excited about this because things are slowly but surely trying to get back to normal. Disneyland is heading for a mini smidge reopening in March. Touch of Disney will open from noon to 8 p.m. Thursday through Mondays at the California Resort.
Yep.
The tickets are going to be around $75, and you can already start purchasing those at the beginning of March. So, guys, this is super exciting. Of course, you will have to wear a mask and social distance, but we're getting there, guys. It's really exciting because we can actually start going to events again.
Yeah, and I mean, this is exciting for everybody. Their tickets are going to be on sale on their website, and for season pass holders, and so, yeah, I mean, I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm pumped for it. We talked about this last week or a couple of weeks ago on the show that the Muppets are coming. The original Muppet Show is coming to Disney Plus, right?
Yes.
Well, you guys have seen kind of like with all the stuff on Disney Plus, some of the older films that were somewhat like,
risque.
And maybe inappropriate depictions of races and different things like that, or towards women or towards, African Americans and stuff. They cut those scenes out of those movies. Well, they're not doing that with the Muppet Show.
Yes.
They're not going to cut out and or not show an episode, but what they are doing is they're adding a content disclaimer to the 18 episodes of the Muppet Show, and they started streaming. If you guys missed it, I haven't missed it because I fucking love the Muppets. They started streaming last week. And basically, here's what it says. It's going to read, this program includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create more inclusive futures together. And that's going to air in front of the episodes. And just to give you an idea, there's like an episode where Johnny Cash is the host, and he does a singing segment, and he's singing in front of the rebel flag.
Yeah.
So that episode would get that disclaimer. So episodes like that's going to kind of be the thing.
It makes sense. It really does make sense. I mean, great content, but also, I mean, some things are risque, so we gotta,
Yeah.
And more exciting news, Marvel's doing some things this week, guys. They finally announced the title of the third Spider-Man film.
Yes.
No Way Home. And I love how the cast members all week were like messing with the home line. So it was just so freaking
My favorite
funny.
was Spider-Man Home Depot.
Yeah.
I mean, with Spidey on top of the thing in the apron. That was fucking fantastic. That was great.
Yes.
Feige releasing all kinds of stuff at the TCA.
Is.
That's why it was all packed this week in industry news, guys. Everybody was at the TCA. They were releasing all kinds of stuff. And WandaVision just blowing it, the most popular show in the world. We keep talking about this. We know the ratings are going to be huge the next time we see the streaming ratings and everything. We know well, all that's going to be the thing, right? But despite all that, despite all the epic numbers, despite all the success, despite all that, WandaVision is not going to see a season 2 on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige confirmed that. They said there's no plans yet for a second season of the show, saying that season 1 of WandaVision will hand straight off into the upcoming Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which was always the plan.
Right.
So don't be disappointed. I mean, everybody knew that this was that's what the series was for, was a launch pad. So, but now it's confirmed.
Exactly. And when WandaVision ends on March 5th, it's okay, guys. It's okay, because literally right after that, on March 19th, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is dropping, and a lot of people are excited about that one.
Oh my gosh. And this one will have more than one season, from what we understand.
Yeah.
Several of the shows will, several of the shows will not. But that's not it. Because after that, it's like, no, but what do we do after that one? Well, don't worry, because the series premiere of Marvel Studios' Loki won't be too far behind it. It debuts on June 11th. So if you're following that, it's going to come like basically right after Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes Loki, right? And then the studio's first animated series, What If, is also going to debut. They're wrapping up production on Ms. Marvel as we speak. They're shooting Hawkeye right now. And when that's finished, in just a few weeks from now, they're going to start shooting She-Hulk. And right after She-Hulk, they're going into production on Moon Knight. So basically, you're like boom, 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 boom.
You're going to have your Marvel content.
Yeah. Ooh, man, I'm super pumped about that.
I am too, man. I am too. It's going to be awesome in the stocks.
Yes.
Laurel Marsden, you might know her from the Quibi series Survive.
Yes.
She's been cast as Zoe Zimmer on Disney Plus's upcoming Marvel series,
Frenemy.
Ms. Marvel. Yeah, she's going to be a Fremini, however the fuck you said that. And so it's going to do a lot. I don't want you to spell your coffee there. But it's going to do a lot with, obviously, popular girls in high school. Like, oh, we're friends. Oh, we're not. But, I mean, I'm very excited about this because we need more female superheroes in the spotlight. And we're going to get that.
Yes. I'm super excited about Ms. Marvel, of which we don't know will get a second season because much like WandaVision, Ms. Marvel is going into Captain Marvel 2. Yeah. So, I mean, it would make sense if that one didn't get a second one. Yes. And as you guys know, Monica is spinning off of WandaVision into Captain Marvel 2. So, yeah. This one I'm kind of disappointed on because we talked about this on last week's show about all the rumors, and I was super excited and thought maybe it was really going to happen, but apparently not. Feige confirmed that despite recent reports, Hero, Baymax, and the rest of the Big Hero 6 crew not currently set to make their live-action debut in the MCU. Yeah, because I loved that movie. I loved it.
There was a lot of speculation.
Yeah, and I mean, it took a lot of liberties from the original incarnation in the comic books. They changed Baymax to this Pillsbury looking inflatable medic kind of a thing. But it went over really well, and everybody loved that film. A nice tribute to Stan Lee and everything. So I was excited to see that, but not happening.
Yeah, man.
Not happening.
Super unfortunate. But Feige did hint at that possibly those Netflix Marvel series might be coming to Disney Plus.
Yes.
Maybe. And we're talking about Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, and The Punisher, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. might come into that little Marvel underscore. So that's right. Super exciting and super interesting because they are dark as fuck.
Yeah,
and violent.
And what's really interesting about that is it's like you're saying, but in what incarnation? Like, will it be the same people? Will it not? Are they going to redo the shows? Well, he said he's not sure what kind of contracts the casts were under.
Yeah.
That would imply to me that he wants to keep the cast members and they're trying to figure out the contract stuff. Are they still obligated? Do they have to sign new contracts? So, and then like you said, those are dark versions of those shows. So if they bring those versions into the MCU, right? Kingpin slamming the door, like right?
Very violent.
You're thinking, how are they going to do that? That's very violent, very dark. Would it fit into the Disney Plus PG-13 kind of a thing? And I'm wondering, and I'm only saying this because Feige also confirmed that there are currently no plans for more rated R MCU projects beyond Deadpool. Deadpool will be the only one that they allow to be rated R, including the Blade reboot coming. And if we know they're bringing Punisher and like all that in there, so... Really?
I know.
You're going to do like Bernthal's Punisher or D'Onofrio's Kingpin, and it's not going to be rated R? Blade is not going to be rated R?
I know. I trust the man himself. We trust him. But yeah, it's very interesting, especially when you've already seen these projects like that. How do you dial that back a little bit? How do you dial that back? This is very freaking awesome because everybody knows I love Star Wars.
Yes.
Disney announced that The Bad Batch, the Star Wars animated series, is set to premiere on May the 4th.
Yes.
Which obviously makes sense because May the 4th be with you.
That's right. So, Star Wars Day. Duh! I mean, that's so awesome. Lana Zach, we know you're going to be pumped for that one.
Hell yeah.
You're a Star Wars geek and we love you. All right. Fantastic. This one I'm super excited about too. It just keeps getting better and better and better and better. The Mighty Ducks Game Changer showrunner Stephen Brill is teasing that, yes,
it's happening.
Joshua Jackson could indeed show up in the series. What? Are you kidding me? In a recent interview, he said, "We've talked to Josh over the years developing this, and he's part of the family, part of the group, and everyone else, when and where they show up, is an open, exciting question." The new Mighty Ducks show is set to debut 1 week after Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh my goodness.
So that's your little hangover between Loki and
right.
so there it is, right? But the idea of Joshua Jackson coming back and playing, because as Emilio Estevez says, once a duck, always a duck. So it only makes sense. And I love Josh Jackson, so that's awesome.
Agreed, man. Agreed. So much content on Disney Plus. It's going to be freaking amazing. And speaking of more great content, Ronald D. Moore is in process, I should say, with developing multiple TV projects at Disney Plus, and that will be set in Disney's The Magic Kingdom. Now, this is going to be the one that's kind of like based off the theme park rides, so which is super exciting. Now, the series is loosely based on the fiction of Organized of the same name that is part of the Disney theme park lore. In the show, the themed lands and characters of the Disney parks and classic films all actually exist in another reality.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
I don't know.
So many questions.
Yeah, that's going to be badass. You know, there really is a secret society of Disney World, like people.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy to me. So if they're going to do a series about that and then explain, that's going to be badass.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Disney Plus has also set the spring and summer premiere dates for some of their big new series coming. One, High School Musical, the series, Season 2, is going to premiere Friday, May 14th. And The Mysterious Benedict Society is going to premiere Friday, June 25th. Turner and Hooch is going to premiere Friday, July 16th. Chippendale Park Life will premiere Friday, July 23rd.
I swear, they're going to catch Netflix faster than they think. It's going to happen. With all this great content coming out, they're going to catch Netflix so freaking fast.
I'm telling you.
And with one of their huge movies that started Disney Plus when it finally premiered on all platforms is Stargirl. That was a huge freaking movie. It's not Stargirl like on the CW.
Nope, not that Stargirl.
Different Stargirl.
Completely different.
But it is, the sequel is in the works at Disney Plus. The company's live-action division is bringing back much of the creative team behind the original movie, which is super exciting. And, of course, Grace Vanderwall is going to be back to play the star character, and Julia Hart is going to be on as a director.
There you go.
And they're going to be joined by Elijah Richardson as well, composer, musician Michael Penn, and she is also, Stargirl herself is going to be performing some original music.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is very freaking exciting. And Richard is going to be playing the lead romantic type.
Ooh, there you go. It was a huge hit, so I'm not surprised they're doing a sequel.
Right.
And in case anybody forgot, they have a network television channel also, not just Disney Plus. They actually have network television. It's called ABC. You might have heard of it. Well, they're doing some stuff too. Singer Eve is set to play a leading role in ABC's drama pilot Queens. In addition to starring, Eve will be rendering original music for the show as her character. Eve will star in the role of Brianna. 20 years ago, Brianna was a Professor Sex. Yeah. You heard that right, Professor Sex. 1/4 of the Nasty Bitches.
I'm so excited about this.
I swear to God, that's the real. I'm not making that up. Nasty Bitches. And they were rapping about money, sex, and her all-around glamorous lifestyle. But today, Brianna is a proud wife and mother of 5 in a stained sweatsuit who's barely had a second to breathe.
Yeah, this is the one we talked about a while ago when they were young and like had a hip hop group, but then turned into like regular people. Now they're coming back as Nasty Bitches.
Nasty Bitches is the best female rap name group ever. Like that's gonna be so fun.
So good. ABC is still doing some amazing stuff. They have given out a pilot order to a drama project called Promised Land, and the show is described as an epic generation-spanning drama about 2 Latinx families vying for wealth, power in California's Sonoma Valley.
Oh, so it's about the wine.
So it's about
Sonoma,
the wine.
yeah, I'm loving that one. Okay, we talked about this one a couple of weeks ago too. About remember Soul of a Nation, the ABC News show that was going to explore the life in Black communities in present-day America.
Yes.
Well, we've got some more news about that. Apparently, the most famous black man right now, honestly, in all of television and movies and stuff, this guy is killing it. Sterling K. Brown. Yes, Sterling K. Brown.
Yes.
He will serve as special guest host for the March 2nd series premiere of the show. And it's going to be a 6-episode news magazine that will focus, like I said, on Black communities in present-day America. The premiere episode will be led by ABC News' Adrian Bankert, Sonny Houston, Byron Pitts, and Pierre Thomas. And get this, of course they brought in Sterling K. because some of the interviews that are going to be in this premiere episode are with Danny Glover, John Legend, U.S. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn, Hero, who was the first officer to speak out publicly since the storming of the Capitol, by the way. Additionally, apparently, the man, the myth, the legend, John, is going to give a special intimate musical performance. So that's awesome. And then episodes are going to bow March 2nd at 10 p.m. on ABC and will be available the next day on Hulu.
That's so cool. Yeah. I can't wait to check that one out. And Hulu has also ordered a 3-part documentary series, which documentaries are huge right now. So it makes sense. The Rise and Fall of Victoria's Secret. I know. The docuseries will take viewers behind the scenes through firsthand accounts and investigate research to reveal the inner workings of one of the country's largest brands and cultural institutions, especially on the female side of things. The Rise and Fall of Victoria's Secret joins Hulu's current slate of award-winning original documentaries that include such as Fire Fraud, which was huge, Minding the Gap, Ask Dr. Ruth.
Yes.
And I Am Greta and Hillary. So it makes sense, man. Everybody's pushing for this.
Will there be a crossover with Nasty Bitches? I'm sure there were some nasty bitches that caused the downfall of. I mean, come on, man.
I'm sure.
All right. Yeah, because not just ABC and Disney Plus, but Hulu too. Don't forget Hulu. Exactly. They've got them everywhere, man. All right, Kevin Michael Richardson, because Fox. All right. Kevin Michael Richardson will be taking over the voice role of Dr. Hibbert on The Simpsons, replacing Harry Shearer, who's portrayed the black character since 1990. The recasting comes after The Simpsons producer said in June of 2020, you remember this, we talked about this pretty extensively, that they were going to be starting to replace white actors with non-white, that were playing non-white characters with actual people of color.
Right.
Remember Hank Azaria, who voiced Apu? He drew some backlash and got some stuff from that, and so they changed out, and that role went to somebody else. Alex Desert I remember him from Flash way back in the day. But anyway, and this is interesting though. I saw this, and this wasn't part of the story, but I saw that Matt Groening, the guy behind The Simpsons and everything, says he was fine with non-people of color playing people of color.
Yeah.
He was fine with it. He didn't see it necessary to swap out.
Yeah.
So he said it. I'm just saying. I don't know what that means, but they're swapping them out anyway.
Yeah.
So,
everything's blowing with the climate. I mean, you gotta go with it, or
That's right.
Heading over to Warner Media, the Bunny, Angel Manuel Soto has signed on to direct Blue Beetle for Warner Brothers DC Film Division.
Yes.
It would also be the first studio's first Latinx superhero movie. Soto's movie will focus on the most recent version of Blue Beetle, which was introduced in 2006 as a Mexican-American teenager named Jamie Reyes, and his powers come from a mysterious scarab that binds to Reyes' spine and provides him with a powerful suit of blue alien armor that can also equip him with bespoke weapons and wings.
Yes. He's a badass
Sounds
character.
like a badass, yeah.
A lot of people thought he was going to show up in the Arrowverse, but he never did. And then also there was rumors that he might pop up on Titans, but he didn't. So he's getting a feature film. And then the next question would be, because Booster Gold is always linked with Blue Beetle, will we see Booster Gold eventually, which would be badass. That's not it, though. There's more DC news. There's a lot of DC news. Rachel Ziegler, remember her, the unknown that Steven Spielberg picked out of obscurity and cast in West Side Story, the remake of West Side Story? Well, she's going to be popping up in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Opposite Zachary Levi, the sequel coming up. So, who's she playing? We have no fucking idea because, as always, Ziegler's role is being kept under wraps.
Yes.
So, I have no idea, but it's going to be badass.
Yeah.
She is quickly rising. I mean, and this is her first film since West Side Story. So, there you go, man.
It's good to see the success in the young artist.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It really is. And acclaimed essayist and novelist Ta-Naishi Coates has been hired to pen the script for the feature reboot of, get this, Superman, which will be produced by the one and only the man, the myth, the legend himself, J.J. Abrams.
Yes.
According to sources, the project is being set up as a black Superman story. Michael B. Jordan, just saying. Michael B. Jordan? Let's put that out there.
Michael B. Jordan, when he first signed his overall deal with Warner Brothers way back in like 2019 or something like that, he tried to get this off the ground and it didn't happen. But this guy that's been brought on to write it and everything, guys, there's some interesting stuff about this. He's currently working on a movie right now with a certain fella named Ryan Coogler, who happens to just be like best friends with fucking Michael B. Jordan, right? Only makes sense. Also, this guy has written for Marvel Comics, including Black Panther, and his run on the Black Panther comic book is the storyline that was inspired for Black Panther the movie, and he even got thanked in the credits by Bob Iger. Ooh.
Yeah,
that would all seem to me like a perfect setup for Michael B. to come on as the Black Superman.
Everybody's been wanting this for like 2 years
now. Oh, yeah.
Ever since like somebody photoshopped him in the suit. Dude, I would love that.
Yeah, so I'm guessing we're going to see that.
Yeah.
We're going to see that.
It'd be epic.
And so this next story makes total sense because the popularity of Superman is booming right now, right? We watched it. Did you guys watch it? The premiere of Superman and Lois? And I know what you're thinking. Why are you so excited, crazy guy? Because you hated it. You didn't want to see it. I fucking loved it.
It was great.
I was wrong.
It was really good.
It was so fucking good. And it delivered for the CW, like giving the network its biggest Tuesday audience in 2 years. Even bigger than Walker, which we talked about, which was a huge debut, right? The show's 90-minute premiere drew 1.75 million viewers and a 0.37 rating among the crucial 18 to 49, giving the CW 2 consecutive strong series, Walker. And the show also had the largest same-day audience for any of the network's DC Comics shows, including The Flash, since The Flash's Crisis on Infinite Earths episode in 2019.
Yeah, man.
So that's huge. It's the most watched Tuesday night show since January of 2019.
CW is doing a lot of big things right now. They have a lot of great shows, and I love to see it because it's just great content.
Yes.
It's really good content.
Most definitely.
Hope Davis has signed on for a multi-episode arc for the upcoming third season of the Emmy-winning HBO series Succession.
Yes.
Which is currently in production. She will play Shandi Furness, who is a daughter of Logan Roy's longtime rival, Sandy Furness. Ambushed by his rebellious son Kendall at the end of season 2. Logan Roy begins season 3 in a really crazy fucked up position, scrambling for secure of family, political, and financial alliances. Tensions rise as a bitter corporate battle threatens to turn into a family civil war.
I really want to start watching this series.
Too.
It's loosely based, from what I understand, on the Murdoch family from Fox, and so I really am. I want to get on that. Reminiscence.
Yes.
That sounds creepy, doesn't it? It's a new action thriller starring my man, Hugh Jackman. We love Hugh Jackman. It's going to open in theaters and on HBO Max on September 3rd of 2021. That's this year.
It is.
The film co-stars Thandie Newton. Hugh Jackman and Thandie Newton. That's a winner right there. You know it's going to be good. I mean, okay. And Rebecca Ferguson. Holy shit, this is a great cast. The story follows Nick Bannister, a private investigator of the mind. Of course that's Hugh Jackman. Of course it is. As he tries to help clients access lost memories. After one of those clients, May, who's Rebecca Ferguson, disappears, Bannister uncovers a violent conspiracy. Ooh.
I know. Sounds intense.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
It sounds really good. HBO Max has also given a series order to Subject to Change. And this is another one coming from J.J. Abrams. It's going to be a drama. Jennifer Yale is set to serve as a showrunner on the project for Warner Brothers.
There you go.
Television and Abrams' Bad Robot. The series follows a desperate college student who signs up for a clinical trial that is starting point for a reality-bending adventure.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that sounds intense.
And then, of course, we talked a couple of weeks ago about JJ moving forward with the Green Lantern series and like all
He's
this
a
kind of
busy
stuff.
guy.
I think they're just going to rename it JJ Max instead of HBO Max. I mean, that guy is like literally taking over Warner Brothers. It's fucking fantastic.
Hell yeah.
All right, but that's not it.
It's not.
Now the huge block, because this is the most I think we've ever talked about ViacomCBS, or as Logan used to call it, CBS Viacom.
That's right. I got over that hump.
You did. You got. I'm so proud. You did so good. Anyway, as you guys know, it's coming up. CBS All Access is going bye-bye. It's being rebranded, right? Rebranded as Paramount Plus, because everybody has to have a plus.
Of course.
Except the Peacock. Everybody has to have a plus. So they are the last of the major entertainment companies to debut a broad streamer, which is like sort of, because CBS All Access was already there. Yeah, but they're finally launching, as I said, the rebranded, revamped version of CBS All Access on March 4th. ViacomCBS, now here's the thing. We're going to get into this. They're going to offer two different price points. An ad-supported tier, so they're going the Peacock route.
Yeah.
There's going to be an ad-supported tier that features live NFL games, CBSN, and thousands of on-demand originals and a library of titles. And then there's going to be that's going to be $5 per month, okay? And then there's going to be a $10 tier that's going to be $10 a month, and that's going to have everything that the $5 tier did, but it's also going to be ad-free, and it's going to include live sports and live local news and live CBS shows. So you can watch CBS Live is what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the difference, the $10. The lower price tier won't be available to subscribers until June. So if you want to sign up right away, it's going to cost you the $10.
Yeah.
Now, here's the good thing. Paramount Plus subscribers will also be able to bundle a subscription to their sister streamer Showtime for an additional fee. But if you're like me, who had the CBS All Access Showtime bundle through Apple TV, here's the beauty. You get to keep it.
It's all good.
You're grandfathered in.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose it, and it's still going to be the same price, the $10. So your Apple TV's still $534, $1069 for Showtime, and now Paramount Plus, and you're good to go. So, boom.
I think it's a weird idea, though, for them to release the lower tier a couple months later. But I think that might be bad for them because, I mean, people who want to try it, I mean, of course, they want to try it for the lowest option, so why wouldn't they just wait until June? Because, I mean, this thing already exists, so why not just wait until June and just try it for the lower price?
Right. And so now you're thinking, right, like, well, what's coming? What are they going to fill it with?
Right.
Everything.
Everything.
Thing. And we're about to tell you.
Yes, we are. But ViacomCBS announced that its film division, Paramount Pictures, will substantially shrink its time in the theaters. So it's really weird. Instead of the traditional 90 days between theatrical release and first home entertainment availability, like through a Redbox or a streamer or anything like that, they're going to take it down to either 30 days or 45 days. The 45 days will be like huge blockbuster theatrical releases. Like, for example, Mission Impossible 7, Top Gun Maverick, and A Quiet Place Part 2. Notice that 2 of those films are Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
But which is very...
Mr. Paramount.
Mr. Paramount, literally.
Tom Cruise Plus. They should have called it Tom Cruise Plus.
I mean, they would have probably got more subscribers. But yeah, that's very interesting, especially like how are they going to differentiate between the 30 and 45 days. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Which was it? Was it Cinemark or was it AMC that also made this decision with a studio?
Yeah, AMC
that made this decision with the studio. I think you'll see more of this because of the time we're in and trying to go with the flow of the climate.
Yeah, so. And here's the crazy thing. They're going to have upwards of almost 3,000 films. And you're thinking, does Paramount have that many? Well, they do because they're also going to be able to use films that they have licensing deals with from Epix and MGM and Sony and Lionsgate. So all of those film libraries are going to have films on Access along with Paramount films, which... There it is.
There it is, man. There it freaking is.
That's not it, though. Paramount has also announced that the sequels to Paranormal Activity and a prequel to Pet Sematary are moving forward, and they're going to debut on Paramount Plus. Which, duh. The films were developed by Paramount Players, the studio's genre label. Paramount's looking to produce between 4 to 6 films specifically for the streaming service Paramount Plus, which makes sense because, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Right.
Paranormal Activity is going to be a new unexpected chapter in the long-running series.
Sure it is.
And Pet Sematary apparently is going to be an origin story to the Stephen King yarn about the dangers of bringing back your dogs, cats, and furry friends from beyond the grave.
Sounds
so before the movies. So that'll be interesting.
It will be. I'll let you take this next one because I know you're super excited. I know. I'll
let
you have it.
And as our buddy Stacey Oristano said, she had the best tweet ever about this story. Maybe he finally figured out what to do with the scrambled eggs and ham. Like I love that. Okay. Frasier, guys. We've been talking about it forever. Huge fucking fan of Kelsey Grammer. Huge fan of Frasier. I loved this show when it was first on. I loved it as Frasier on Cheers. One of the longest running characters, by the way, ever in television history. Yeah. From his time on Cheers and then bouncing over into his thing. Well, anyway, you guys have known it's been long in development. Kelsey Grammer's been trying to get Frasier back on the air and rebooted it forever. Yeah. Well, it's finally fucking happening thanks to Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus.
The Frasier revival has officially been ordered at Paramount Plus. Kelsey Grammer will return in the title role. Because can you have Frasier without Kelsey Grammer? No. Right. The answer is no. And he's going to executive produce also. Now, David Hyde Pierce, Jane Leeves, and Perry Gilpin are not currently attached to the revival. And as you guys know, Dad, John Mahoney, and the dog. They both passed away.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be able to come back. But my guess is long rumored that it was going to be about the brothers. So I'm pretty sure David Hyde Pierce will find something real soon that he has signed on. I don't know if Jane Leaves. She's currently on The Resident, and it's got like a major storyline arc going on there. So, but with these streamers though, the scheduling is like so maybe. But
yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what freaking happens.
I'm just so fucking pumped.
I know you are. Taylor Sheridan has set a number of new projects at Paramount Plus under his extended overall deal, including the Yellowstone spinoff. The spinoff is currently titled 6666666. Like literally 6 infinity.
Yeah.
Founded when Comanches still ruled the West Texas. No ranch in America ever more steeped in the history of the West than the 66666. Still operating as it did 2 centuries before and encompassing an entire county. The 66666 is where the rule of the law and the law of nature merge in place of where most dangerous thing is the next thing, which makes weird sense. But apparently it's a Yellowstone prequel at Paramount Plus, and the show is set in the 1880s.
Yeah, and this is separate from the other Yellowstone spinoff that we already talked about a few weeks ago. So he's got 2 Yellowstone spinoffs coming. But that's not it. He's got a shit ton coming. He's actually going to get out of the West. He's moving out of the West. And Jeremy Renner has signed on to star in Taylor Sheridan's Mayor of Kingstown. That's going to be badass. It was originally supposed to be on the Paramount Network, but now it's going to Paramount Plus.
Of course.
News of the casting comes after Sheridan's extended overall deal, which we just talked about. One of the shows that's already set up under the deal was Yellowstone prequel, as we just told you about. Now, Mayor of Kingston follows the McCluskey family, power brokers in Kingstown, Michigan, where the business of incarceration is the only thriving industry. So tackling themes of systemic racism, corruption, and inequality, the series is going to provide a look at their attempt to bring order and justice to a town that has neither. Oh, shit. So, like, you guys, they're clearly talking about private prison systems, right? And I'm guessing their family's going to be coming in and running prisons. That's going to be badass.
Yeah, especially bringing light to a subject that is very hot right now and has been like very much talked about and is also a gray area. You know, not a lot of people like to talk about the gray area, but Paramount Plus does. So stay tuned for that.
And it just begs the question, what's going to happen to Hawkeye?
Oh, that's a great
question. Know the Hawkeye series coming is to set up Kate Bishop and moving. So that he's signing on to another show. That's
sketchy, man. Sketchy. Man, our buddy and Epic studio owner and runner, Tyler Perry Studios is working on All the Queen's Men for Paramount Plus. The series follows a female owner of an upscale strip club in Atlanta who is savvy and charming, and it's expected to shoot in Georgia's capital city. Yeah. Talk about something we never talk about besides like Hustlers and American Gigolo and shit like that. A fucking savvy, slick-talking female strip club owner.
It only makes sense that Tyler Perry's doing it.
Right?
Because, I mean, he's going to tell the story the way it should be told. Exactly. Is it Cookie?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, that would have been bad.
That would have been great.
It's not. That's Lee Daniels, not Tyler Perry. But still, I'm guessing she's going to be that type of a character, right? I could be wrong. But okay, now, as we've talked about, the whole Paramount all coming together when they merged with Viacom, right? What does that mean? It means all of the Star Trek universe is under one roof. And it's all going to be on Paramount Plus. The Star Trek universe is making its permanent home on Paramount Plus, including the premiere of the latest Trek iteration, the animated kid series Star Trek Prodigy. The show is about a quartet of alien kids who take control of a seemingly abandoned Starfleet vessel. It's going to premiere on the streamer later this year, and after its 10-episode run has concluded there, it'll show up on Nickelodeon where it was supposed to originally go before the whole Paramount Plus thing. The move is part of a wider official strategy and placing every current and former Trek TV series on Paramount Plus, including the new seasons of Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Lower Decks, which are also moving to Paramount Plus. Along with Prodigy, Discovery, and Lower Decks, Paramount Plus is also in active production on the second season of Star Trek Picard and the new series Star Trek Brave New Worlds. That's the one with Pike and Spock. And it's the largest expansion of the Trek franchise since its inception in 1966.
Damn.
And if all that wasn't good enough, if you didn't hear me clear, all of the series. So Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and the original series, all on fucking Paramount Plus.
That's crazy.
Plus all the movies.
Yeah.
All of them. I mean,
I know.
If you like Star Trek, you need Paramount Plus.
You know where to subscribe. You know where to subscribe. And an all-new Rugrats CG animated series is slated to premiere on the streaming service in 2021. And all the original people who voiced the characters are coming back. I mean, we're talking E.G. Daily, who played Tommy. Nancy Cartwright, who is Chucky. Cheryl Chase, who is Angelica. Cree Summer, who is Susie. And
not that
Kat Saucy, who is Phil and Lily. The Nickelodeon animation studio is producing the revival, which promises to follow the toddlers as they explore the world and beyond from their pint-sized and wildly imaginative point of view.
There you go.
Yeah.
And don't lie. Every time you hear Angelica, you know you sing it too. Don't even fucking say you don't, because you know you do. I'm going to let you take this next one, because this is your generation right here.
It's true. It's true. Dora the Explorer and Fairly Odd Parents are both getting live-action reboots at Paramount Plus as well, which both of those live-action films didn't do well. So I'm why is this happening? I guess trying to go back to their roots, but still, this just happened. I mean, the Drake one, like, I don't know, maybe
Drake
like
Bell, you remember that shit?
Like 7-10 years ago or whatever. But the Dora one literally just happened 2 years ago and was not successful
at all. It did not go over well.
It's very interesting, and these are going to be series. So who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah, right.
You know what was successful? It's true. Pushing up easy. Cornholio. Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead was extremely successful. Their movie was extremely successful. They're relaunching with a new series, right? We talked about that a couple weeks ago. And in order to kick off that new series, to get everybody excited about it, apparently Mike Judge is making another Beavis and Butthead movie that will sit alongside the new Comedy Central series that was ordered and coming later this year. A new fucking Beavis and Butthead movie, like a sequel to. I'm so fucking excited. Right? I love Beavis and Butthead. I love Ren and Stimpy. I love all. So I'm just excited to tell about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty freaking exciting, man. I cannot freaking wait. I'm also really excited about the slew of classic MTV and VH1 shows that are coming back for Paramount Plus. Behind the Music, I always love that. Mm-hmm. Yo MTV Raps, Unplugged, which we got one of the best all-time Nirvana albums, which was epic, so I'm so happy because there's so many good artists now that could do an unplugged, like Adele. Imagine Adele doing an unplugged.
Oh my gosh, man.
That'd be so.
I mean, Bon Jovi,
brilliant.
Mariah Carey, like the people that Rod Stewart. I'm just thinking that all of the different genres that did unplugged. Yeah, they were all good. Yeah, there wasn't a bad unplugged.
No, there really was not. And the streamer has also ordered a new series from the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dave Grohl. Everybody knows him.
Speaking of Nirvana.
Yeah, right. Titled From the Cradle to Stage. The streamer is also set to debut a new Road Rules, which is a competition series, and a all-star edition of The Challenge. And RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars has moved to Paramount Plus from VH1, and some shows that were canceled are also coming back for Paramount Plus.
What?
Like Ink Masters and this new the show that I have never heard of. It's just a very interesting concept. Dating Naked. What? In the time
the best way to do it.
The time that we're in, and like Me Too movement, dating naked. What?
Come on, Naked and Afraid is like Survivor Naked, and it's huge. It's huge in the ratings. It's so like,
you're literally exposing your vulnerability.
That's right. Just get it out of the way right away, right? Like, I mean, first date, it's always awkward, right? Just come naked and get all the awkwardness right out of the way. It's like fine.
Is that a third nipple? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, and I'm glad we're talking about that now. Do you want the salad or the or the soup? Let's move on. It's not all good news for Paramount Plus, though. Not all the shows are coming back. Jordan Peele's reboot of The Twilight Zone. Do not adjust your television sets.
Don't do it.
It's not going to be returning following its 2-season run.
Yeah.
Both existing seasons will, however, be on Paramount Plus if you want to watch them.
Kind of sucks. He was very passionate about that one, so that one, it sucks. It sucks.
This one.
Yeah, I know.
It's not Paramount Plus, but it's still Paramount.
It's still Paramount. Edgar Wright has been tapped to direct The Running Man for Paramount Pictures, an adaptation of Stephen King's dystopian horror novel. The book was loosely adapted into a 1987 film that was directed by Paul Michael Glaser, whatever the fuck.
Yes.
And featured Arnold Schwarzenegger. The upcoming version is expected to stay more faithful to the source material, so they say. And the story takes place in the United States in year 2025, which sees the economy in ruins and violence just everywhere. Now, there's no cast, there's no plot details or anything like that right now, but, it's going to be interesting.
So what are they saying? They're saying we finally got rid of Trump and Biden comes in, and then at the end of his term, the society's like that?
Right.
What are we doing? The real question is will the Running Man dance come back?
Right, that's the real question.
I mean, it spawned a dance. Everybody forgets about that. This one, this show just keeps getting better and better and better and better. I'm so fucking excited about this. Apparently, playing Margaret Thatcher wasn't enough. The Iron Lady wasn't enough. Gillian Anderson's now been cast as Eleanor Roosevelt. Jesus Christ. Margaret Thatcher and Eleanor Roosevelt.
Impressive
so she
resume.
went from uber fucking conservative to uber fucking liberal. Like, boom, she's got both of them. That's awesome. I'm, of course, talking about Showtime's upcoming series, The First Lady. Yeah. Anderson joins, as we've talked about, seems like for the last month. Yeah. Series leads Viola Davis and Michelle Pfeiffer, who will play Michelle Obama and Betty Ford, respectively. The role marks the second time in recent memory that Anderson has played a famous figure. I just told you, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher in Season 4 of The Crown. But she's not the only one.
No, Judy Greer has also signed on to this project's guest starring role in the upcoming series. And Greer's going to be playing Nancy Howe, who is Betty Ford's trusted confidant and social secretary. And she takes the takes over the role from Pamela Alden, and who dropped out of the project due to scheduling conflicts. Everybody knows it's Hollywood.
It is.
And Hal and Ford were said to be inseparable through thick and thin, from facing Betty's struggle with breast cancer to turning dusty White House traditions upside down.
Yes, and her battle with sobriety and
yes,
of course you can't leave that out.
No,
the Betty
you
Ford
really
Clinic.
can't.
The Betty Ford Clinic.
Literally.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Did you guys, this next one, did you guys hate the fucking abrupt ending of Ray Donovan as much as I did? Like, what the fuck? Like, it canceled. We don't care if the story's not finished yet. Well, I think that they realized they fucked up. Showtime is going to fix it. Yes, you're hearing me right. Much like they're doing with Dexter and fixing that disaster of an ending. They're fixing it for Ray Donovan also. Ray Donovan's going to get a feature-length film continuation at Showtime. Following the show's surprising cancellation, that's right, because I was pissed about it, Liev Schreiber is going to return in the title role, because much like Frasier, could you have Ray Donovan without Ray Donovan? No, you couldn't. Yeah. You need Liev Schreiber. He's going to return. Also with series stars Jon Voight and Karis Dorsey also returning, and it's going to pick up, this is what I love, it's going to pick up right where season 7 left off, with Mickey in the wind and Ray determined to find and stop him before he can cause any more carnage. So they're basically, what this is, it's going to end it correctly.
Yeah.
It's going to say, okay, this is how we wrap it up and how it goes, and thank you.
That's good.
Thank you, Showtime.
That's good. Basically what Entourage did. Thank you, HBO.
Yes.
Now heading over to NBC Universal, Saturday Night Live has booked Nick Jonas for February 27th, and he will appear both as the host and the musical guest. This is going to be it's going to be the 5th episode of 2021.
Yep.
Although he has performed on the show before as the musical guest, this will be his first time hosting the gig. So I'm super excited about him because he's actually really funny.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to see him in this
And that's
role.
tomorrow. So guys, get ready. That's tomorrow. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
This next one's interesting.
This one, I get it. I played Frogger. I'm an 80s kid. You guys know that. I'm an 80s kid. I fucking love
Sounds
the 80s.
dangerous,
Everything.
though.
You remember Frogger? If you weren't an 80s kid, maybe you don't. It was this video game where you basically had to take this frog and cross intersections, interstates, and roads, and with the goal of not getting him splattered by a car.
Yes.
That Frogger. That's what the game was. Well, somebody thought that would be interesting live.
Let's do it.
Like Wipeout. This is a Wipeout game show type show based on Frogger.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding. It's getting a modern day competition series upgrade at the Peacock.
Yeah, right?
Well, okay, it only makes sense that the Peacock would do Frogger. That's fine. The hour-long Frogger is going to feature 12 obstacle crossings instead of courses, because he's going to be crossing. And I know what you're thinking. Is it going to be the cars? Yes. Yes, there will.
Dangerous.
Individually, physically demanding challenges based on the original game. These challenges will range from dodging traffic to leaping over snapping alligators and hopping over hungry hippos, just like in the game. However, the show is not solely physical. Contestants will also have to have their strategy and problem-solving smarts tested with these challenges. And it's been given 13 episodes.
I don't think it's going to last past the first season. That's super dangerous. That is super freaking dangerous.
The question is, who's going to host Frogger?
Yeah, right?
I want to know who's going to host Frogger. I'll do it because I'm an 80s guy. But I mean, just...
so crazy, man. So freaking crazy. Some exciting news that literally just broke today. Everybody knows them. They love them. George Clooney and Julia Roberts, they're re-teaming back up for Ticket to Paradise. Now, they're going to be playing a divorced couple who travels to Bali together to stop their daughter from making the same mistake they did 25 years ago.
And this is billed as a romantic comedy.
Yeah, that's all we have, too. That's all we have.
That's right.
And it's like, what does that mean? So I'm super excited.
I don't know. So shouldn't it be tickets?
Right.
Because they're both going, right?
They're both going.
And then cue Eddie Money. 2 tickets to paradise. If not, epic fail. I'm just fucking saying. And George Clooney and Julia Roberts, if you've seen James Corden and Carpool Karaoke, they should fucking sing it.
They should. They're so funny.
We're just adding to the story. We're just, George, Julie, call us up. We'll make that happen. It'll be fantastic. Ooh, Sony. We're going to Sony. Sony has news. Sony has sort of the Spider-Man stuff, but this is Sony's not Spider-Man news. This is going to be great. Robert Wisdom, John Woo, and newcomer John Christian have joined Michael B. Jordan and Chante Adams in Sony's upcoming Journal for Jordan, directed by Denzel Washington. Remember, this is the one about the soldier that goes off into war, and he's keeping a journal, writing to his son, his newborn son. And so, I mean, it already sounds sad as fuck.
It does.
But it's got a great cast, and it's directed by Denzel fucking Washington.
Exactly.
Denzel Washington and Michael B. Jordan, sign me up. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to cry. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. It's probably going to get nominated for a shit ton of fucking awards.
Probably. Sony Pictures Television has optioned Holly Madison's best-selling author tell-all memoir, Down the Rabbit Hole.
That Holly Madison.
Yeah. This is going to be a curious adventure and a cautionary tale of the former Playboy Bunny for development as a limited series with Samara Weaving, Hollywood, and set to star as Madison. Down the Rabbit Hole looks beyond the polished facet, the fascinating thing that is the Playboy brand, and it's going to depict a whole bunch of damaging stories of women who entered this thing trying to follow the dream and found themselves manipulated, controlled, and abused by the machine.
And for anybody who doesn't know, Holly Madison was like the long-time live-in girlfriend of Hugh Hefner.
Yes.
You know, so there you go.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting.
There it is.
All right. Jumping over to Lionsgate, we've got more Julia Roberts news because she is America's sweetheart.
It's true.
Starz has picked up the anthology series Gaslit with Sean Penn and Julia Roberts, set to star in the untold story of Martha Mitchell's role in the Watergate scandal. For all you youngins, that's Richard Nixon. Yeah. I am not a crook. Okay. The roles of Armie Hammer and Joel Edgerton have been recast. Edgerton left the series a month ago due to scheduling conflicts. You already know why. You know why Hammer's gone. Yeah. Okay, moving on.
So funny. Starz has recast the role of Tal Baker for its Step Up TV series, replacing Patrice Jones, the actor who played the part when the show's first 2 seasons aired on YouTube. But Keenan Lonsdale and Jones took over as a series regular role on a different show, so he was unavailable to go to this new season, which makes sense. I mean, like we just talked about. Scheduling conflicts, this is Hollywood.
Yeah, and remember, due to the tragic death of the main star, the Glee's Niera Rivera there, so now they're recasting with this role also. So, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. And, hey, if you guys aren't familiar with the name Keenan Lonsdale, that's Kid Flash.
Yeah.
On the Flash series and Legends of Tomorrow and everything. So, good choice. Rachel McAdams and Ant-Man's daughter, the cutie patootie, who's now like they've aged her up. But the cutie, remember the cutie, Abby Ryder Forston, they've been cast in Lionsgate's upcoming film, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. It's an adaptation of Judy Blume's beloved coming-of-age book. Forston will play Margaret Simon, a 6th grade girl who is going through puberty and searches the universe for any answer she can find. McAdams is portraying Margaret's mother, Barbara.
Intense, man.
Yeah,
Intense.
I love Abby. I've seen her in so many different things, and she's just like, even starting in the little commercials.
Yeah.
And she's just adorable, and she's a great actress.
She really is. Well, heading over to the streaming juggernaut, Netflix. Netflix co-CEO and chief content officer, you know him, you love him, Ted Sarandos has also announced that the streamer has created a $100 million fund for creative equity, investing over the next 5 years in a combination of external organizations with strong track records of settling underrepresented communities for success in TV and film industries, as well as bespoke Netflix programs that will help us to identify, train, and provide job placement for up-and-coming talents globally.
Yes.
Damn.
It's much like what we talked about last week with Disney, about really making an effort to go forward and do this. And good, because Disney set the bar. Iger put that initiative out there, and they've been killing it. Well, and so everybody else has got to follow suit. Good for Netflix for doing it. Good move. One of our favorite shows, you just heard from her last week, Carol Barbie, Raising Dion Season 2. You heard some juicy tidbits, but we've got more tidbits for you about Season 2. Rose Flynn from How to Get Away with Murder, Abrina Davis from Genius and Aretha, Tracy Bonner from Sweet Magnolias, and Josh Ventura from P-Valley. they're all joining the season 2 cast of Netflix's superhero drama series. So Flynn will play Tevin Wakefield, a former long-distance runner and Olympic track coach who becomes Dion's trainer and mentor. He's protective yet playful, and here's the part we don't like. He's going to develop a close relationship with both Dion and Nicole.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wait. What? You heard Carol say it's about moving on. She moving on with this track coach? I don't like it. I don't know. We're all Team Jason. Jason Ritter. God damn it. Where's Pat?
Where's Pat at?
That's right. Davis will portray Janelle Carr, a 15-year-old girl who's been labeled destructive and dangerous. Janelle's mother brings her to Biona in hope of managing her behavioral issues once and for all. And when she's there, she forms a bond with Nicole and Dion. Janelle becomes heard for the first time and values that first time in her life. Bonner is going to play Simone Carr, Janelle's mother, who is frightened for her daughter's future and just wants her to live a normal life. Ventura, the last one we named, is going to play David Marsh, the new VP of Biona, who hopes to rekindle his personal relationship with Suzanne Wu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, man. Super excited for season 2. Zack Snyder's zombie heist film, Army of the Dead, is set to release May 21st on Netflix. Army of the Dead was first announced back in 2008 as the sequel's 2004's Dawn of the Dead, which Universal and Warner Brothers producing. And so, I mean, it's just super crazy because it's been in development and like all that and so much time, man.
Yep. And they released a trailer. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check it out. Zack Snyder's trailer released for it too, which was badass. I'll be back.
Yes.
The Terminator is coming back. Did you see the last film? Well, we're not talking about that. This time he's coming back in anime.
In anime form.
No, we're not even kidding. Anime. The Terminator's coming to anime with a new series at Netflix. The streamer has ordered the project from Skydance, which makes total sense because Skydance owns all the Terminator stuff. Yeah. Okay. This is crazy. Skydance, if you didn't know, produced the last 2 Terminator films when they took over the ownership of it and everything. And IG, which produces anime series such as Ghost in the Shell, which the Scarlett Johansson film was based on, right? And Malton Tomlin, a writer on Robert Pattinson's The Batman, are set as the showrunners and executive producer. And it marks the first animated TV
Now you sound like me, yeah. Coffee time.
Adaptation.
Yeah, there it is.
Adaptation of the franchise.
There it is.
That's going to be really interesting.
I know, man. I'm so super pumped about it just to see what it's going to look like.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest. And if Arnold will voice it.
Right. And will Cameron be involved at all?
At all, man.
Linda Hamilton. Any of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good. So good. David Fincher and Michael Fassbender are teaming back up for The Killer. Fassbender will star as an assassin who begins psychologically develops a conscience even while his clients continue to demand his skills. Fincher is being associated with the film since at least since 2007. That's crazy.
Yeah.
When the project and adaptation of the French graphic novel was set up at Paramount. And so, I mean, this is a prime example of it takes a while to get projects off the ground, guys.
Right. And see, that's what we were talking about earlier when we were giving you all the Paramount news. Normally, it's about them passing it on, and here's one.
Yeah,
right. They put it in turnaround, and Netflix picked it up.
Exactly.
All right. Charlize Theron and Kerry Washington, that's fantastic right out of the gate, have joined the cast of Paul Feig's upcoming Netflix movie, The School for Good and Evil.
Yes.
Based on the young adult fantasy novel by Sorma Chahaniria. The story follows best friends Sophie and Agatha as they are kidnapped to the School for Good and Evil. After their fortunes are reversed, their friendship is put to the test as the duo attempts to return home. Washington is going to be playing Professor Dovey, and Theron is portraying Lady Lesso, 2 looming figures at the mysterious House of Education.
Damn, sounds intense, man.
Yes, it
does.
That
sounds intense. Well, 2 huge creators are finally teaming up, which is going to be super exciting because they're both doing epic shit behind the cameras. And man, Kenya Barris and 50 Cent are developing a series at Netflix, and it's going to be called The 50th Law, based on Curtis Jackson's 50 Cent's best-selling novel, or book, I should say. The 50th Law is a semi-autobiographical.
You want some of my coffee?
I know, I ran out. Account of detailing 50 Cent's rise to both a young urban hustler and an up-and-coming musician, with lessons and just a whole bunch of inspiration from figures in his lifetime, such as Abraham Lincoln, Sun Tzu, Socrates, Napoleon, Malcolm X, and James Baldwin.
Yes. So. I say 50 Cent quotes Sun Tzu in The Art of War all the time in like things that he's working on now. And so it's going to end, I guess, with the music thing, but now he's like a prolific television producer and just like whooping fucking ass on TV.
Yeah.
So good for him. I know you were thinking, right? What's America Ferrera doing now that Superstore's been gone and she's off the show, right? Well, don't worry about America. Because America's resilient, as Biden says, and we always come through. Well, so is America Ferrera. She's set to make her feature directorial debut. So she's moving in the film. She's doing directorial debut. And it's going to be an adaptation of the young adult novel, I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. Yep, this is a Netflix film. The New York Times bestseller from Erica L. Sanchez follows Julia Reyes, the precocious and strong-willed teenage daughter of first-generation Mexican immigrants. She often clashes with her more traditional parents who wish she were more like her sister, Olga, the platonic ideal of a Mexican daughter. However, when Olga is killed in a tragic accident, it's up to Julia to hold the family together.
Damn.
That sounds intense.
Yeah, I bet there's going to be resistance from the parents, man.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And I bet she stars in this, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, ooh.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Well, Oscar winner Halle Berry has signed on to star and executive produced in The Mothership for Netflix, and it's going to be a sci-fi adventure that follows Sarah Moores, who's going to be played by Halle, and for 1 year since her husband mysteriously vanished from a rural farm, when she discovers a strange extraterrestrial object underneath their house. Apparently, Sarah and her kids embark on a race to find their husband, father, and most importantly, the truth. This comes, of course, it extends Berry's relationship with Netflix, who recently picked up the rights to her directorial debut, Bruised, a mixed martial arts drama that premiered last year in Toronto's International Film Festival.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Fantastic. I love to see Halle just excelling because she's just phenomenal also.
Right.
Been a huge fan since the 80s and Knots Landing. And I know most of our listeners have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. It's all good. Just go look it up.
It's fine. It's fine.
Mia Kunis, that 70s show Mia, Mrs. Kutcher? Ashton Kutcher? Yeah. By the way, best Super Bowl ad. That was it was between that and Drake.
Yeah, right.
Mia Kunis has signed on to top-line Netflix's feature adaptation of The Luckiest Girl Alive. Oddly enough, based on another novel. Wow, these guys are just killing it. The New York Times best-selling novel of the same name. Kunis is also producing the picture with her Orchid Farm Productions. The plot centers on Annie Finelli, a sharp-tongued New Yorker. Really? A New Yorker that has a sharp tongue? Shocker.
No way.
Right? She appears to have it all. A sought-after position at a glossy magazine, a killer wardrobe, and a dream Nantucket wedding on the horizon. But when the director of a crime documentary invites her to tell her side of the shocking incident that took place when she was a teenager at the prestigious Bradley School, Annie is forced to confront a dark truth that threatens to unravel her meticulously crafted life.
Trying to leave the past in the past, but it's coming back to bite you in the ass.
Which is what documentaries do best.
Exactly.
Bite you in the ass.
Exactly. Man, speaking of documentaries, Operation Varsity Blues, a new documentary that will be pulling back the curtain on notorious college admission bribery scandals that ensured Hollywood celebrities, financiers, and other members of the elite society that we have here in America.
That's right.
And it will debut on Netflix March 17th of 2021. The film promises to provide a deep dive into the methods used by Rick Singer, the mastermind behind all of this shit, to get children of his wealthy clients into top schools. And these schemes include everything from enabling kids to cheat on their college admission tests to falsifying sports credentials or bribing school officials. It's going to be deep, man.
Fuck Aunt Becky.
Fuck Aunt Becky.
That's all I'm saying.
We haven't said that in a while.
We haven't, but there it is. I'm excited for that one. Emmy-nominated writer, producer, and director Zinga Stewart, you might know her from Little Fires Everywhere and Tall Girl, set to direct 5 episodes, including the pilot episode of Netflix's upcoming limited series From Scratch, which is starring and executive produced by Zoe Saldana.
Nice.
Gamora. Yes, that's awesome. Let's see. It's based on Tembi Locke's best-selling memoir. The series is from Reese Witherspoon's Hello Sunshine banner. She's everywhere. From Scratch is a sweeping autobiographical romance that follows an American woman as she falls in love with a Sicilian man while studying abroad in Italy, then builds a life with him in the United States. When she unexpectedly loses him to an illness, she is challenged to pull herself through grief so that she can raise their daughter as they would have raised her together with hope, joy, and Infinite Love.
Damn.
I'm excited. Zoe Zeldana, I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
love her.
Well, and anything coming from Hello Sunshine is just fucking great. This next one we're both super excited about.
Mayor Pete!
This is honestly who we wanted, but things happen.
Right.
2024. Amazon Studios has landed a Pete Buttigieg documentary from Boys State co-director Jesse Moss. Mayor Pete will take in the audience inside Pete's quest to the first openly gay president race in America's history.
Yes.
It will be showing him in his Indiana home with his husband, Chastine, and will go inside the campaign's early days, as well as Pete's historic contested victory in the Iowa caucus. The film is expected to release later this year. I'm so excited about that.
I'm a huge Pete Buttigieg fan. I hope we see him in office one day. Like now, it's great he's on the cabinet, but I want to see him in the executive office, either vice president or president.
Agreed.
Pumped. Taylor Kitsch is set to star with Chris Pratt in Amazon's. Damn, that's a good cast.
Right.
Amazon's upcoming series, The Terminal List. Kitsch will play Ben Edwards, a former Navy SEAL and best friend of James Reese, played by Pratt. The story follows Reese after his entire platoon of SEALs is ambushed during a high-stakes covert mission. When Reese returns home to his family, he questions his own culpability with the muddled memories of the event. However, as new evidence comes to light, Reese discovers dark forces working against him. Edwards uses his CIA ground branch access and operator skill set. He's got a particular set of skills.
Right?
To help Reese seek his vengeance. That sounds badass.
Right? Super drama, super action. Well, let's go to romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Jenny Slate and Charlie Day have been tapped to star in a new romantic comedy for Amazon Studios in the movie titled I Want You Back. Slate and Day will be playing 30-somethings dumped by their respective partners and terrified that their fairy tale shot will never come to fruition.
Aww.
And so to complete with marriage, kids, and houses in the suburbs are over. With no prospects on the horizon and the thought of dying alone looming, they hatch a desperate plan to win back their exes, who are already in new relationships along with Slate and Day. The ensemble cast includes The Good Place star Manny Jacinto and Gina Rodriguez and Scott Eastwood.
Oh, love Gina Rodriguez.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh, she's so good. And Scott Eastwood.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, Norman Lear, television pioneer behind every fucking successful sitcom ever way back in the day. Norman Lear's Act 3 Productions is going to executive produce Clean Slate, starring Laverne Cox and comedian George Wallace. Oh, wow, we haven't seen George Wallace in a long time.
No.
The series, currently in development at IMDb TV, centers on car wash owner Henry, who's Wallace, whose estranged child comes home to Alabama after 17 years, but he must do some soul searching as he comes to terms with the fact that his adult child is now a trans woman. That's not going to go over well in Alabama.
Right.
That is going to set up for a serious comedy right there.
Yeah, seriously. And last but not least, Apple. Austin Butler and Colum Turner are to lead in Steven Spielberg's Masters of the Air alongside Tom Hanks, and it's going to be a World War II drama that is a continuation of the Band of Brothers and Pacific franchise. So it's all kind of in one universe. So
Hell yes.
It's really freaking exciting. Anything that alongside with Tom Hanks. And I mean, Tom and Austin are also starring in that Elvis biopic.
That's right.
So
that's right.
That's really cool.
And I love that Spielberg and Tom just keep doing all these World War II and history stuff. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Woo!
We did it.
Thanks to massive happy-go-lucky mug of coffee, man. Woo!
So thankful. And we're even more thankful that we have a great freaking guest on the show this week. The one and only Jeff Blue, who's the mastermind behind the music industry. Man, this guy is super inspirational. Has so many stories with so many different people. You guys are going to love this freaking interview.
Absolutely. And not just what advice that he gives for the music industry, but for life in general.
Yeah.
You guys are really going to fucking love this one. This is a good one.
Definitely. Well, here he is.
Jeff Blue, welcome inside the Crazy Ant Farm. How are you, man?
Well, I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. I like talking like this, too, so we can keep it going.
There we go.
Absolutely, man.
We go. We like the energy.
Exactly. He's already starting right in with us. That's fantastic.
I mean, crazy is in the name. In the name. But, man, we're so super excited to talk to you today because you're basically the mastermind behind the music industry. I mean, you've dabbled in a little bit of everything with a little bit of everyone. So what we like to do at the beginning of of every interview is have our guests introduce themselves to the listeners. How did you get started in the entertainment industry and the music industry? Was it something you always wanted to do, or did you just kind of fall into it?
Oh, well, that's a very, very long question, but I will give the very quick answer. I started at UCLA, going to be an orthopedic surgeon, found I was scared of blood, which is essential. Went into econ business, then into an area that over the sign at UCLA, it said communications department. And so I changed my major on account of that. And it was, it just seemed like a more fun, relaxed thing with no blood in it, you know? And I interned for a guy named Harvey Levin, who was a reporter at CBS News, a legal reporter, and interned for him. I was actually acting during UCLA too, just because, you know, I lived in LA and I wanted to try it, and I got a whole bunch of commercials, and my commercials were playing during the time, like the news, and he would always say, you should be a legal reporter. So I was actually a drummer since I was 13. I was in tons of bands and stuff, acting, and then I went to law school, which sucked really bad, and I resented it. And so I pulled up and started another rock band, and I ended up getting a meeting with somebody as a total fluke at Geffen Records, and he completely thought I was somebody else. And proceeded to ask me to leave his office when he realized that he was talking to the wrong guy. But that is the moment where I learned what A&R was, because I asked him what he does, and he says he signed bands. And I asked him, how do you make money? And he goes, I get paid to do that. And I go, well, that's the job I want. So awesome. What am I doing in law school? So I decided at that moment, he was lecturing at UCLA, in fact, that night, and I snuck into his class, and I said, this is the moment that's changing my life. I was in the back row, and I set out. Right after that, I got an internship, a couple different internships, and realized that I had to get my name known because I wasn't getting anywhere just being smart, you know? So I decided to become a journalist, and mind you, I was still in law school, so I started a music magazine and started getting my name out there that way. When I graduated law school, I couldn't get a job because I did have long hair and an earring with a big long an angel hanging from the earring and a goatee and hair down to the middle of my back, and that it just wasn't a good vibe for lawyers. Lawyers didn't think it would be intimidating on the witness stand, you know, for people.
So funny.
So long story short, I literally BS my way into becoming a journalist, and I say that very literally. I just lied my ass off about me being a writer until somebody gave me a job to cover some bands. And I actually, the first band I ever covered, I ended up managing and being the drummer for eventually, and when I finally got a job at Zomba Music Publishing, it was because of my journalistic skills and writing about unknown artists, for Billboard and Music Connection and RIP and God, whatever else I was writing for. And I had a magazine called Crossroads. So it was all based on unsigned acts, and being a journalist allowed me to define and analyze all the elements that an A&R person would like: performance, musicianship, songwriting, production, image, star power, all that kind of stuff. And I had to write it in a coherent form that, was concise and interesting at the same time. And I covered artists like Korn, Weezer, Pete Droge. I actually did an article on Sheryl Crow really early.
Nice.
But I just started being really early on all these artists, and I got a job at Zomba Music Publishing, and that was my first job ever, and then I turned that into a career.
Yeah, dude, that whole thing was inspiring just listening to that. Like, off the bat, I love it. And doing our research on you, a lot of people say that you're the guy that finds the diamond in the rough. How do you do that? Do you go out and just go to the local bars, go to the local places, and look for musicians to be playing? Or do people, like, send you their stuff? Or how does that work?
I was never that guy that would just go out every single night. Linkin Park was the result of me lecturing at UCLA, and a kid that was a student coming up to me and wanting to intern for me. And he met me the next day, completely ambushed my office without an appointment, and he said that he wanted to be my intern, and he had a band that was going to be bigger than Korn, Limp Bizkit, and I also had a Matchbox 20 plaque on my wall because I was somewhat involved with them. And he, So I signed them off of their first show they ever played ever, which became Linkin Park. Yeah, it was a band called Zero, the first show. And I was just like, same with Macy Gray. Macy Gray came to me in the form of a demo tape where she was already dropped from her publisher, her manager, and her record label. And I heard it. And so that just landed in my office, but nobody else wanted to sign it. And nobody wanted to sign what became Linkin Park. And other than like Korn and Limp Bizkit, they were already existing.
Right.
But nobody wanted to sign Limp Bizkit though to the publishing deal, which was shocking because I thought they were a really cool band, and despite whatever reputation they may have now, I think they're dope, and I think the first few albums were amazing, especially the first two. So I guess I'm just really early on it, and I don't really care about fan bases. I don't care about radio play. I don't care about any of that other than the authenticity of the artist and the vision, and if there's something iconic there, and that's what I go after. I mean. Another band that people love to hate. I tried to sign off for the first time they ever played, which was it was a band in Vancouver. They played their first show in the back of a record store, and I happened to walk in and hear them and offered them a $4,000 publishing deal, and they wanted to sign it. And my boss goes, "Anybody who wants to sign a $4,000 deal isn't worth it." And that band was Nickelback.
Oh wow!
And
wow.
So Chad and I laugh about it all the time, but ironically, Linkin Park signed a $4,000 publishing deal too. So that was how much we gave to them, because I thought the $4,000 deal is a good number. It's just under 5, and it's more than 3.
And so with the story with Linkin Park, I mean, did it help that it kind of reminded you of you? Like, here's this guy coming in and totally breaking rules, bullshit, and he says, "I want to be your intern. I got this. I mean, it kind of like had the balls to come into you and say, "This is what I want, and I'm going for it." It had to remind you of yourself young, right?
Oh, it 100% did. And he a lot of his elements too. He was going to go to law school. He came from the same background as me. We were both UCLA students. We were both comm majors. So yeah, it totally reminded me of. He was a little cocky and self-assured, and I loved it. He was actually way more confident than I was, and I liked that about him.
But I love that, because it's the whole old adage of fake it till you make it. But you can actually do that if you have the skill and you're able to do what you say you can do. You absolutely can do that. So I'm with Logan. I think the whole story is inspiring as hell.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I had to do. I literally wanted to be in the music business so bad. I would, and I don't think this was in the book because I took it out, but I literally would go to these. I used the journalistic approach, to get in to see these shows in order to not have to pay, because I didn't have any money. And I would come up to people because I would study who the people were. And at that time, this is pre-internet. So, I would just look in the magazines. I'm like, oh my God, that's so-and-so. Or hear somebody talking. And I would come up to them like, "Hey, how's it going? Good to see you again." And they look at me like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, we hung out at so-and-so. It's cool. You were drunk. You don't remember." And they're like, "When?" I go, "Yeah, I was backstage at something." And I really perfected the art of confusing people until they were like, "Oh, well, this is embarrassing. They don't remember.
Right.
They must have been drunk." I'm like, "Yeah, you were drunk. It's okay." And they're like, "Oh, come into the office. We'll hang out." And that's how I got to know people.
Wow.
That's so freaking awesome. Well, I mean, you brought it up, the book, One Step Closer, what you're on to talk about tonight, man. It sounds super inspiring. And I mean, is it just a story about like your encounters with all these bands, just basically how you got started and how it all went down for you?
No, it's really the story of Linkin Park per se. So it's and again, from my perspective. Mm-hmm. So when they entered my life, the band for me started with the guitar player and that UCLA class. And me and his relationship with me, and taking him under the wing, or my wing, and I took him to all these meetings and taught him the business. He would come by, invited him to play poker with all my buddies who were lawyers and business people, and I just really loved the kid, and I gravitated towards his music, and I met the guys obviously in Linkin Park. Without Chester, it was a different vocalist, and I just really believed in each one of the individuals. So it's that story about how, they were progressing, and I would constantly shop their music to record labels, and all the rejections and the qualities it takes to overcome adversity and overcome rejection, to have faith in your vision and proceed, which is, to me, it's very inspirational. And I honestly, when I was writing the book, I was getting inspired all over again, because it's a story about youth as well, because these are elements that come with youth, because you've got that, for most of us that are just inspired, passionate music people, you have to have that drive, and you have to have that belief in yourself, or else you'll never make it. And there's a ton of talented people that just are talented, and they're more talented than a lot of the superstars that we know, but they don't have that drive, and they don't have that passion with, that nothing's going to stop them from achieving their dreams. And the book discusses that. It discusses how to overcome rejection, how to just expect rejection, because, it even discusses my process into getting a job, and it was rejection after rejection after rejection, constant. I was rejected by every single manager, publisher, publicist, record label, you name it, until I got to the Z's. And there was an actual book called The Yellow Pages of Rock, and it was a huge like Yellow Pages type situation, and it was the last company, the ZOMBA, and they gave me a job. Literally the last one in the book, no joke. And so there had to be like 250 phone calls that I made, rejects. So I had about 250 rejections before getting the last one who actually gave me a job. So the book is a story about a young band and a young executive who believed in them, and what it took to make the biggest selling debut album of the 21st century. How do you like that?
That's great right there. That's a sound clip. Hell yeah.
It's also a great elevator pitch for a film. I'm just saying,
Just saying. That's the next biopic. That's the next biopic. But something else that it says the book talks about is mental health, which that's a huge thing that we're talking about in the new year on the podcast, is how rejection in the entertainment industry does affect the mental health game, and how it affects just basically everyone around you, and how you need the support system. So talk about that a little bit. What was the mental health game like when you were trying to do all that and kept getting rejected? Did you keep that positive outlook the whole time, or did you stumble along the way and was like, man, why am I doing this? What's going on? Or how did that happen?
Well, I had a very different approach to it, because I actually had two very close family members of mine, one being my father and great-grandmother, who committed suicide. So I have a history of not dealing with things well, like genetically. And so, I am predisposed. And I kind of relate it a little bit, because I did not want to discuss, obviously, Chester's situation, because this book is an inspiration.
Right.
But it does deal with the ability to overcome and to just forge ahead. The rejection got to me many times. But especially the drama and the stress during making the record, because we had 44 rejections from record labels. We finally then got with Linkin Park, and we finally got a deal with Warner Brothers, only to find out that by the time we actually got to the record label, which took 9 months, that the guy who signed the band, the head of A&R, who actually allowed me to sign the band and signed me as an A&R person, was let go. And the new guy there is the guy that passed on the band 3 times, didn't like him, and really didn't care for me. And that was just, if you read the book, and I urge people to read it, it seems like a made-up movie, but it is absolutely real, and it's very real life, because these are those true stories that you'll go through. You think everything, you work so hard, and you busted everything down just to get to that moment in your life where you're going to make that record, and 2 weeks into making the record, you find out that you're about to get dropped. And it's just, that is real life. Stuff like that happens, and it's either the people that, get stronger from that, or the people who give up and crumble and the band breaks up. And, the former happened with these guys. We just, it was a lot of drama, a lot of stress, but the band forged ahead, and I think it made everybody stronger, to be honest with you. Made the album stronger. It really made us hyper focus on making every single second of the Hybrid Theory album incredible.
Well, and even more so why we are going to direct everybody to read this book, because it is inspiring and a story about life, and that the fact that it doesn't always work out the way you want it to, and that sometimes when things seem like that there's actually something else. People need to know that, and people need to know that even though that shit happens in life, you can overcome that with the right attitude, and you can still move forward, and you can still be successful. So we could not be more happy that you wrote this book and that you've got it out there, and that because for us, starting a discussion, getting people to talk, and being able to know what's real and what isn't in life is important, and we need more people like you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's super important just to forge ahead. It also discusses about the ability to listen.
Yes.
It's you want to put everything in context. There's going to always be a bunch of haters, but even the haters have a modicum of truth to it. So the ability to, follow your passion, follow your dream, believe in your vision, but also be objective sometimes and step back and go, you know what? This chorus could be better. I'm losing somebody here. And if everybody, like, one thing that I would always do is I play music for people and see, their physical body cues and their body language. And, if they start to tune out or when they tune out, and I notice that. And if it's a common thing, like common area, I'll be like, okay, I'm losing somebody here. And then they may not know how to express it, but that's an ability that is necessary to communicate with another person to find out what inspires them about your music. Because when you're writing the music, you're always very subjective.
Right.
And then the messed up thing is everybody's always going to tell you how great you are, no matter what. They're like, oh, it was great, I love it. So when you talk to artists like, oh, my friends love this, I'm like, yeah, but they're your friends, and they're, most of them are just going to hype you, and so it's really important to surround yourself with people who know how to communicate musically and can be objective, and you can trust. But it's overall, you've got to make your own decisions about everything that you do, because that is your vision, and you need to stay true to that. But you also need to be able to listen to potential little nuggets of truth out there.
That's so good. That's so good. And talk about the work of being a music producer. Are you basically like the director on a film set, to where you tell them to elevate their pitch a little bit, or to feel some sort of emotion that's just not coming through on a previous take? Or what's the mindset of a producer going into the studio with a band?
Well, the producer generally is the overseer creatively, the guide. There's also the engineer. So it depends if you are producer, engineer, or just producer. Right. In my case, I don't engineer. So I direct, I make a lot of suggestions. I'm also a songwriter. So I don't know if the listeners out there actually have won, a couple BMI awards. Well, one specifically, as a songwriter, had, quite a few hits out. So I also produce and write. So I'm very close most of the stuff I write, I at least co-produce on some, not always, but anyways. My point is that as a producer, you are kind of the overall guide, and you direct, everything from, the performance, especially trying to get the best performance out of the artist, but also kind of the arrangement. And, some producers are more hands-on. I'm extremely hands-on, which is, people either like that or they don't, but I'm very, very involved in, for everything, beats, guitars, drums, every little sound, and especially, guiding harmonies and vocals and getting into, hey, you know what, I think you could write a better, pre-chorus or a better bridge here. Let's try this. And so I get very involved. So the producer is more of the guide. The songwriter is the actual physical writer, where it could be melody, lyric, or music. And the A&R person is generally the person that is responsible for going out and discovering the artist, bringing them to the label, and then channeling that artist through all the facets of the record label to get the record released into the public.
Yeah. And I have a question too, because I'm really interested, because you've served in both, the creative and the suit role, right? As a producer and as a songwriter. So what are your thoughts on the artist and keeping control of their catalog or rights to their, because that seems to be a big issue in the music industry right now, with losing control of your catalog or not being able to maintain the rights to the songs that you've created. What are your thoughts on that, and what would you say moving forward in the industry for artists to look out for with that?
Well, you're talking to a person that broke broke the careers of Linkin Park and Macy Gray and The Last Goodnight as a music publisher. So a music publisher is somebody who gives the artist an advance based on the publisher's share of the copyrights.
Right.
So I am in that business, or I was in that business in the beginning of my career, and I think it was, obviously I worked my butt off for the artists.
Absolutely.
And gave them a lot of insight and helped them, I did get them the record deals solely. So I'm the ones who shopped the artist and guided them and gave them the support and helped with the direction. So I think it all depends on the individual, just like with any team. So if you have somebody that's just a monetary coffer that just gives you money and not much else, that could be the money that you need to live on and create. So, people can, hindsight's 2020. You could always be, look back and go, oh, I could have gotten a lot more. Well, the truth is, everybody, that how publishing works is you get in advance, and after that advance, you make the same exact amount of money as you would if you got $1 million advance, as you got a $5,000 advance.
Right.
You're just recouped way quicker if you got a $5,000 advance. If you're selling the same amount of records, it doesn't matter. Unless you're going to get like $1 million publishing deal and you sell only 2 records, then yeah, you came out and the publisher got screwed.
Yeah.
So it's all about, you're just getting in advance and somebody's collecting your royalties because otherwise you got to do it.
Right.
So that's what a publisher does. Having control of your catalog is, it's a bonus, but unless you're going to be like, a Taylor Swift or somebody that really wants to retain control of everything. And, most people are going to be happy to get their songs placed in, movies and soundtracks and film and TV, because that's the way that a lot of artists get discovered.
Absolutely. And it comes down to like right from the very beginning of that topic, it comes down to who you surround yourself with. If, like you said, if you're around the right people and you're with the right group and they're working hard for you and they're doing what they're supposed to do, you're in good hands. And that's the way it should be.
Correct.
Yeah. And an artist that I want to talk to you about, because I know you're a fan, going back on your Instagram, Grandson. Freaking brand, like, we're just super fans over here, and I went and saw him live before COVID shut everything down, and back in last November, I believe, around then, and man, this guy has some real talent, and he's finally getting the recognition that he deserves, like getting his songs put in the Suicide Squad trailer, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So how did you guys meet? How did that whole relationship start?
My best friend, another guy I actually discovered, he was from Spain. And he came out and auditioned. I do these like one-on-one music things, and his band hired me, and I found this drummer out of the band. And I'm like, dude, you're great. Your band sucks. And we became really cool. Yeah. And I stuck him in a couple bands, and then I helped him get his visa. His name's David Remen. I just talked to him 5 minutes before I jumped on here. And he played in Tyler Rich's band, who's on Universal Republic. He's a country artist, and he also brought me the Grandson demo. And he goes, what do you think about this? And we would listen to, we used to go surf once a week, and I'm like, holy crap, this is good, bro. This is really good, because most of the stuff he played, I'm like, it's okay. Right. I like the country artists a lot, because I do actually like country, but I'm like, this is really good. And I went to go see him, and there wasn't 5 people in the audience. I brought a buddy from a record label. He walked out. He goes, it sucks. And I'm like, I think it's really great. And I actually discussed co-managing with they have a great manager, Hamid, and they just he wanted to do it all on his own, which is great, because he's done a great job, and Jordan and him are a great team. And when I saw Jordan, I was just floored. I was just like, this guy's a star. He's Bob Dylan meets Zach, and you've got trap rock, Rage Against the Machine, you got beats. It was just awesome.
Yeah, it's all combined.
And the guy's got
one.
A message. Yeah, he's actually in my docu-series. I'm doing a docu-series on the history of A&R. But again, I brought Grandson around to several different major labels, and everybody passed. So again, that goes to Jordan and Amit, his manager. They really forged ahead and did everything on their own, and got out there and played, and they got the ears of Alison Hagendorf over at Spotify, who played them, and she's like, hey Jeff, have you heard this band? I'm like, yeah, my best friend's the drummer. And
nice.
Just literally exploded. Yeah, man. So they're amazing, and there's very few rock bands out there that I think are really that great. But I think they're amazing.
I completely agree. I think they're like just completely necessary right now with their political movement, and especially with everything that was going down the past 4 years. I mean, we needed some sort of anger relief, and I felt like they provided that for us, and it was just really good. Like you said, it's just a whole big melting pot of basically everything. So I love what they're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about your docu-series a little bit. A&R. A&R is kind of like a liaison, right? I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. This is why you're here, to teach us things. So, what does the A&R person do?
Well, A&R is kind of morphed since the 60s. Back in the day, the A&R person would produce, discover, guide everything along. There was only one or two people at the record label,
right?
And we interviewed one of the guys who discovered AC/DC, Foreigner, Zeppelin, Genesis. He's a really cool guy, great stories to tell. We go through the 70s. We have, Michael Rosenblatt with, the story of Madonna, how he brought her in. She was just a club girl and brought her into Seymour Stein. He was in the hospital having heart surgery.
Wow.
And she performed for him. So we go into that story, and that, we go into the 80s with Chase Blom and Twisted Sister. And, then I go into the 90s with, my stories with, we go through hip hop, but that's just the sizzle alone.
Right.
But, we tell the story of Linkin Park, Macy. We go into Jay-Z. We go into Bruce Floor talks about Dave Matthews Band. This is all in a 5-minute sizzle, mind you. So we got Dave Matthews Band, Foo Fighters in there, Linkin, Macy, and Grandson, and we just all packed into like 5 minutes. So we're talking to several different large companies right now about releasing the full docu-series. So we're in the process, and then I also wrote a movie screenplay called Rehab that is kind of a psychological thriller horror movie.
Oh, shit.
And so I'm in the process of having that in front of a couple big production companies, and then I'm also doing a podcast with a guy that's on iHeartRadio named AD. I'm not sure if you know him, AD Roundtree. So we're doing kind of the stories behind the making of albums and just funny stories, and just doing a lot right now. And then I also manage three artists. Two are hybrid percussionists and DJs, and then I have a young artist out of actually she's out of Virginia too, who's LGBTQ and like a fast kind of rap / she's got an incredible voice. She gets really dark and really real with everything. So she's kind of like a Billie Eilish meets MGK a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Eminem, a little kind of that vibe. And then I had this girl, Chastity Ashley, who she used to be the percussionist for Duran Duran when she was really, really young. And so she's in her 20s, but she's opened up for Kygo, Kanye at Coachella. She's done Frank Walker at Ultrafest. So she plays drums, sings, and DJs. And I don't know if you know the EC Twins too, but I handle them. And
wow.
I got this guy Ravi, he's international Indian DJ drummer. Actually, if you're from LA, you've probably seen him, but he's the original guy that did all the drumming / hybrid DJing. So
wow.
Dude, got a few different things.
You are the epitome of living life to the fullest, man.
Yeah.
You are
that hustle is amazing.
That is insane, man. And I have no doubt the docuseries will get picked up and your film, because if there's a guy that clearly knows how to pitch, it's you. Yeah. I have no doubt that dude. I see it coming, and it could not be a better time for the docuseries. I mean, documentaries, especially about music right now, are just slaying. So, dude, I think it's all right there for you, man.
Yeah, I mean that one just dropped on Hulu, the one that's kind of about how hip hop is also intertwined with the underworld, and if the underworld, like, there needs to be hip hop with the underworld, that type of stuff. It's crazy, but I'm so excited about this. Like,
me too, man.
Dude, just the way you talk about your projects and the people you represent. Like, I mean, you just radiate the positivity and the passion that you have for this industry. And I mean, we need more people like you, and especially people who are not yes people. Because, like you said, dude, your band sucks.
Yeah,
but you're awesome. So, I mean, mean, we need more people that are not yes people that will give us the accurate critiques that we deserve to need and to just continue moving forward, because, I mean, there's too many yes people in the world right now.
There are.
I mean, a lot of people get coddled, and that's not what we need. We need to be able to produce and make the best possible content for the listeners, for the viewers, and for everybody out there who just wants to listen.
And positive mindset and passion, like Logan said. I mean, you talked about it earlier in this interview about that's the two key components to all of the rejection and making it through all of the rejection. Because we talk about this all the time. If you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe you can get it done, then why the hell would anybody else believe in you or want to get it done with you? So, your mindset and your passion speak volumes as to how to get it done in this industry and any industry, really.
Well, I appreciate that. I have one codicil here that you should absolutely take note of, because I learned this the hard way too. You should never go in as a, excuse me, you should never go into anybody in an executive position and tell them you've got something that's amazing that's going to blow them away. And the reason you don't do that, you can always go in with positivity and feeling good, and you can radiate that. But the minute you tell somebody that, they're expecting the best thing you've ever heard. So anything less than that is going to be a disappointment. And people also don't like being told what they're about to hear is something that is amazing, because it's a little bit offensive. So that is a little nugget that I learned about 3 years into my career.
Yes, that's great. And it's a great
people
nugget.
don't ever tell somebody you've got the best thing, you've got the best rock band since blah blah blah, you've got the best singer since whatever. This is the next big thing. People don't. That generally puts you in a bad position. It's just psychologically. So that's my little nugget. I think that's the third nugget I've dropped here. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude, we're taking it all in. We're taking it all.
We normally end these conversations with pass along some advice, and and you've been just feeding it all night long. So that's fantastic.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's freaking awesome to have you on the show, bro. But before we let you go, we want to have two little questions that we've been trying out new on the podcast. The first one, what music are you listening to right now?
Wow. Well, if you honestly want to know, I have different, I have 4 different moods. So I listen to a lot of, believe it or not, 70s old stuff. So I listen to a lot. I have about, I think my playlist is about 960 hours or something crazy.
Oh, shit.
I have to look, but it's it's days and days. Maybe it's 96 hours or something. Anyways, I have a playlist like that. I have a hard rock playlist, which has a lot of new stuff, but primarily old. And then I listen to a lot of R&B, and I listen to country, and obviously I do have hip hop in there. So I have my R&B, hip hop stuff. So I listen to everything. I think that's really important too. You shouldn't just listen to one thing in particular, because the fourth nugget, or we may be on number 6 or 7,
right?
Is that every song, a great song should be able to be performed in a variety of ways. Because at the end of the day, a pop song is a pop song. And it doesn't mean pop in the essence of, Kiss FM or Katy Perry type pop or anything like that. It is a popular song. That's where it comes from. Popular music, song structure. If you break any song down, you want to put heavy guitars on, a dance song, then it becomes a rock song. Or a country song, make it, pop or hip hop. Whatever it is, that structure is in whatever form, that is a sign of a good song.
Right.
Just the essence when you break it down. So I listen to tons of music. The reason, when I was in a band that was prog rock kind of, it was crazy. It was called Meet Nixon, with this amazing vocalist. I was the drummer, writer, and my buddy was the bassist and he's vocalist. And our shit was crazy good. But I was listening to Nina Simone and Billie Holiday all the time. Yeah. And that, because of her, because of those CDs I was listening to, I was able to appreciate Macy Gray's voice and have that vision for her with her. If I hadn't been exposed to all that jazz, and soul singers, as a fluke, I probably wouldn't have been able to recognize the talent that was in front of me. So yeah, I think I just listen to a lot of stuff.
There you go, man. That's great to hear, though. That's great to hear. And then the second one is, what musician or what artist inspired you the most and helps you through your day with your creative process?
God, then that's another question that I just can't say one.
Right, it's so difficult.
With my creative process, I mean, again, anywhere from, Freddie Mercury is probably my all-time favorite. Creative. Wow. I mean, I have my workout playlist. I have playlists for everything.
Hell yeah.
But my favorite artist of all time is Freddie. But I also, Nina Simone is just I love her voice too. But then there's, there's just so many amazing artists. I don't want to say one particular.
Right.
To be honest with you,
hey man, Freddie Mercury and Nina Simone are two like really good choices.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you see Bohemian?
Prince is like one of my all-time favorites.
Yes.
But then he took so much too. You listen to James Brown, and every artist is inspired by people. That's the other thing too, is like if you can incorporate a lot of different elements that inspire you and not just sound like somebody else, then you're golden.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Cool. Well, listen, man, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to us, get a little crazy, and just pass on all those nuggets of advice, because all of our listeners are going to love it and soak it all in and use it to help them move forward.
Absolutely. And we shouldn't forget, the book is called One Step Closer.
Yes.
From Zero to Number One, Becoming Linkin Park by Jeff Blue. My Instagram is Jeff Blue Music. Same with my Facebook. So follow me there. And yeah, for any other artists, I do, work one-on-one with artists, and some that I believe in I end up producing. I've discovered a lot of, I should say about 6 or 7 artists that way and gotten them record deals. So I'm very hands-on. I do listen to stuff, and, I will sit down depending on the situation and work with people. So I'm always looking for great artists.
Awesome. Dude, we will definitely direct everybody to all of the projects, the book, and your Instagram and everything that you got going on. And open invite, man. Anytime that you want to come back and talk and just, not even to promote anything, dude, just to chat. Because, like I said, the nuggets, not just for the industry, but for life, dude. So inspiring. So, man, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you, dude.
Likewise. All right, guys.
Man. That guy, he definitely knows how to pitch and sell himself and sell anybody that he believes in.
Yeah, and I love, because sometimes, you and I talk about this all the time. Sometimes if you don't know something, you have to act like you do know.
Exactly.
Or at least make sure that somebody who you're talking to believes that you know. He was like just so awesome to say, no, I just walked up in there and I said this, and this. None of it was true, but I was just going for it. And I'm like, I love that, because sometimes that is what it takes. Sometimes you just have to believe in yourself enough to convince somebody else that they should be doing this.
Exactly. Plus, I love hearing the backstory on how he met everybody and like what a day-to-day process is for a producer, an A&R person trying to discover talent or to inspire talent when they're in the studio. So it's just an awesome learning experience for anyone out there who is also trying to break into the music industry. This interview was for you, and man, thank you again, Jeff Blue, for coming on the show. All right, now it is time for the top 5 segment, man. And Jason keeps making them harder and harder.
This one was like so damn near impossible, y'all. Like monster movies.
Yes.
First, what is a monster movie?
I know, right?
What makes a monster? Like, there's so many possibilities.
Yeah, because the first thing I think of is like thriller, horror, obviously. But then there's so much more than that. There's actually comedy. There's like a whole bunch of shit.
Right. Are serial killers monsters?
Right.
Yes, right? Like, so this was tough, man. But I think we got it.
I think we did too. I think we did too. Well, let's start off with my number 5, and this one was probably by far the most original concept that I might have ever heard of. Abraham Lincoln, the Vampire Hunter.
Yes.
That was fucking crazy. I wasn't expecting that to be as big as it was or as good as it was, but it was fucking great because it still gave you history on his backstory and everything, but he's also fucking people up with like an axe and shit. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I have the book. I read the book first, and it was like phenomenal.
Oh,
and the movie,
I didn't know.
The movie was about as close as an interpretation of. Y'all forgive me, I'm laughing so hard, but this lovable Peanut. You guys know Peanut. You love Peanut.
Yes.
He literally was just trying to move his bed on his head back behind here, I think, and it didn't work. So he was just like, "Fuck it, I'm just coming back there." All right. Anyway, so it's a great book, and it was a really close interpretation from the book. So
That's
I was
awesome.
really happy about that. Yeah, good choice, man.
Yeah.
Good choice. All right, my number 5 is not necessarily scary, but it's full of monsters, and it was scary to one little girl. But I mean, obviously, just one of my all-time favorite movies. I'm of course talking about Monsters Inc.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man, John Goodman and Billy Crystal and the gang. I mean, it's so good and has such a good story. It's just like all the Pixar movies and just an amazing. So, monster movie,
right?
Yeah, but it is monsters, and so yeah, monster movie.
I always thought that one was really good too, especially for Pixar coming out the gate. It was it's like the third or second one that they did, and it was just revolutionary, honestly, for the CGI game.
I think so too.
Definitely. Well, my number 4 goes to Men in Black, and I'm going with the Will Smith ones, not the new one with Chris Hemsworth and Valkyrie there.
What are you saying?
It was okay. I mean, but Will Smith and fucking what's his name? Not James Earl Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes, Tommy Lee Jones. It's a Jones.
He's your Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, that's what he is. That's what he is. But yeah, man, Men in Black, especially the first one, just so damn good. I love the dynamic between those two, which I didn't think was going to be there. But yeah, I really like that one. Aliens coming to Earth and trying to figure everything out. And then the Men in Black also work with the aliens sometimes. So yeah, really good.
And aliens are definitely monsters. Yeah. I mean, without doubt.
Exactly. So, because of that movie is why I really like pugs, by the way. I'm just saying. I want a talking pug.
Don't listen to him.
Don't listen to me, Peanut. Don't listen to me.
He's like, pug this.
Yeah.
All right. All right. He'll probably make an appearance, guys. So
yes.
You see us. We're petting him. He'll pop up. It's fine. Okay. My number 4 is legit monster. Yeah. And you know whose monster it was? Frankenstein's.
Ooh.
Frankenstein's monster. So, of course, I'm talking Frankenstein, the 1931 classic.
Yes.
The 1931,
back
legit, back in the day Frankenstein. Scary as shit. You watch it, it's scary as shit. No wonder people were, terrified of fucking Frankenstein. I mean, this was creepy. The makeup and the torches and, it was great. Frankenstein. It was creepy.
And I mean, spawning to the comedic Young Frankenstein was hilarious.
Oh,
and I watched the new Tom and Jerry today, and they were Jerry was in the hotel room, and he was watching Young Frankenstein.
Well, there you go.
That was fucking badass, dude. Very good, friendly kid movie, by the way. I mean, but don't go into it expecting a cinematic masterpiece, but very good kid movie.
All right.
Actually, I did put this one on there. I didn't even realize. My number 3 goes to Scooby-Doo because he is always trying to figure out the monsters. And I mean, so's Peanut. Peanut's trying to figure out monsters too.
Peanut is trying to figure out the monsters.
I mean, Scooby-Doo is everybody's favorite, especially when the cartoon was around. But then when James Gunn did his incarnation, the live action, everybody loved those too, which honestly, in such early stages of CGI, wasn't expecting it to be good, but it's a cult classic.
Yeah, and actually, Scoob looked great.
Yeah.
And so did Scrappy. They should have not kept doing them after James Gunn was not involved with them.
Agreed.
I just, when it was different cast members, and, it was awful. Yeah. But I like you. I really liked the first one. And full of monsters, even though they're always humans.
Yes.
Just saying.
Agreed.
All right. Now, my next one, King Kong. King Kong, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm talking about the 2005 version with Jack Black.
Yes.
That's kind of the Kong that we're seeing in Kong vs. Godzilla. It was kind of spawned that King Kong, right? Okay. I loved the 78. I did with Jessica Lange, and I thought that was a great one. And I'm even a fan of the original with Fay Wray. But I just really liked the incarnation with Brody and Jack Black and the gang in 2005. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was a good homage to the 78 King Kong. I think that's the right year, 78. The 70s King Kong.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah. King Kong.
Kong.
He is the king of monsters. Don't listen to that Godzilla bullshit. He's going to whoop his ass.
I can't wait. Let's see, man. Let's see.
He's being billed as the underdog. That should tell you everything. The underdog always wins.
Quoting Denzel Washington, King Kong ain't got shit on me. It's so funny.
Well, he ain't fighting Denzel.
Yeah, right.
All right? He's fighting Godzilla.
Exactly. Well, my number 2, we're taking it to the horror genre. We're going with It. Honestly, the first It that just came out, the first one, not the second one, not It Chapter 2. I really enjoyed that one, but nothing tops Tim Curry. I mean, the TV movie was just so damn good. Like, I had it on DVD and would play it, like, over and over and over again because it was honestly terrifying. Not that I wanted to be terrified. Well, maybe I did. I don't know. But yeah, it was just so good. So good. So, yes, number 2 for me, It, Pennywise. Yeah.
I'd tell you my number 2, but I have to be quiet.
Oh, shit.
Okay, fuck it. It's A Quiet Place. I mean, the monsters are scary as fuck because we never see the monsters, right? I mean, hello. So until like we kind of see them, but
yeah,
I think the scariest monsters are the monsters that you don't see.
It's true,
and because then it's all up to your imagination, and you're like, what the fuck, So, A Quiet Place.
Yeah, and such a brilliant film too, because there's like 3 pages of dialogue. Like,
it's true.
If that.
It's true. It's brilliantly written by John Krasinski.
Yes.
3 pages of dialogue.
Yeah, right.
No, all kidding aside, they're fantastic, and they're fantastic together, and here's hoping they'll be fantastic together.
There you
fantastic
go.
Four.
I was about to say,
all pun intended, all of it. Yep.
That's so great. That's so great. Well, number 1 for me, I don't know why, but this one just holds a nice, near, dear place in my heart. And, I mean, Hugh Jackman, obviously, he's a freaking great, and you guys know we love Hugh Jackman. But Van Helsing, when he was Van Helsing, like that, I don't know, just something about that movie, that thriller genre, and him in that role. I just feel like it was done so well. A lot of people hated that one, but I really enjoyed Van Helsing.
So let me get this straight. We're doing a top 5 monster movies.
Yes.
And 2 of yours are vampire hunters.
Yeah.
But Dracula is not on your list.
Yeah, it's true. That's a good point.
I'm baffled. You have 2 Dracula killers.
I know.
But no Dracula, and Dracula's a monster. Okay, all right. Hey,
don't question my process, man.
It's your top 5, bro. It's your top 5.
Exactly.
I don't have Dracula either. I'm just picking at him because he's got 2 vampire hunters. I'm just saying. All right. My number 1, and I love it for more reasons than just because it had a monster in it. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's definitely within my top 10. It's an homage to film.
Yes.
And it's just brilliant from start to finish. I'm talking about, of course,
boom,
Super 8. Super 8. Yes, J.J. Abrams' masterpiece about a small town with a monster. A monster that invades. He's from space. You don't really see him until the very end. If you haven't seen it, sorry, just spoiled it for you.
Yeah.
But you do see it at the end. It's kind of like that. But he's creepy as fuck, and so it's your imagination the whole time about, like, what does this thing look like? What is going on? That's some weird-ass sounds. That's all kinds of crazy stuff. What does it look like? So my number 1, Super 8.
Such a good movie, man.
Yeah.
It really freaking is.
It really is.
Yeah, but that is our top 5 monster movies. What are your top 5 monster movies? We want to know. Be sure to comment in the YouTube section, or be sure to add us on Twitter or Instagram, or message us directly, because we love the fan interaction. We're all about building those connections.
That's right. We love to talk.
Exactly.
Yes, we'll give you our opinion. You tell us yours, we'll tell you ours.
Exactly. Well, now heading over to the box office recap. Number 1 last week was Crude's A New Age, hopping back in front of Little Things. It came in at number 1 with 1.7 million, and number 2 came in at 1.2 million, The Little Things, and number 3 was Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yes.
With 905,000. Such a good movie, man.
Yes.
Such a good movie.
Yes.
What? What are you
Wonder Woman is back on top.
Trying. She's trying. She's going to get there.
That's
She's
right.
going to get there.
That's right.
But yeah, she came in at number 4 with 805,000. And number 5 was The Marksman with 775,000.
They just keep flip-flopping back and forth every week. It's
they
like,
do.
Who's going to be on top?
They do.
But, this week it's Wonder Woman.
Exactly. And new movies coming out, possibly in a theater near you. We got Tom and Jerry, like I said. Pretty good kids movie. I think the family would enjoy it. Nowadays, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, in my opinion. But, well, yeah. And we got The Father, Crisis, The Vigil, and Tiger. Of which we may be speaking to somebody from Tiger coming up here in a couple of weeks.
That's right. Little tease.
Stay tuned.
Okay, man. We are talking to somebody from Tiger in a couple of weeks.
It's happening.
So, who? Stay tuned.
Exactly. Movies you can still go see, possibly in a theater near you: Monster Hunter, Nomadland, just in general.
Yep.
News of the world and the war with Grandpa.
Bobby.
People love it, man.
Bobby is
People
still there. But you can see Bobby until you choose not to see Bobby. Because, I mean, he's going to always be there.
Exactly. Well, now heading over to the IMDbPro Top Trending segment. You guys know we love this app. And they love superheroes, man. I mean, this week, it is all DC and Marvel. The top trending movie, by no surprise, because of that trailer that dropped, which was super badass.
Oh, yeah.
Zack Snyder's The Snyder Cut Justice League.
Yep.
So, I'm counting down the days for that mini series.
Me too. Me too.
Oh, man.
I cannot wait to see that fucking movie. It's going to be badass.
It is.
And we've got some news about Superman. I mean, it's just like we've talked about it in the industry news section, and I think we're going to continue to see there's going to be movement. There's going to be movement. Next week, we're going to be talking about it. There's a little something breaking. It's not yet. It's not official, but it's going to happen, I think. Okay, it makes sense, right? So what you were saying, Marvel and DC. So TV show.
Of course.
Duh.
Of course.
WandaVision.
It's all anybody's talking about.
We said it last week on the show. The most popular show in the world right now.
Literally.
Literally. And holy shit. Did you see this week's?
Dude, so good.
What?
Actually saw it for the show, and we could talk about it, finally.
Yes.
Such badass,
Oh,
man.
my gosh.
I think there's going to be a huge epic battle.
I think so, too. And it's going to be between two people that you don't want to see have an epic battle, but it's going to happen anyway. We're not going to spoil it for you guys. Watch it, and then you'll be like, holy shit.
There's a lot of explanation in this one. A lot of things get explained, so stay tuned for that.
A lot of things confirmed and a lot more questions.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And by no surprise, the star, Scarlet Witch herself.
Yes.
Who... I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. She got named Scarlet Witch in this latest
episode.
episode.
She finally got called by the moniker.
Elizabeth Olsen, who's just killing the character, man. Finally getting the recognition she deserves. I mean, she is just an amazing actor, so I'm happy to see this spotlight on her.
Yeah. And who the fuck out there didn't know she was related to the Olsen twins?
Right. Like,
why
where
is
did
this
that come
news
from?
all of a sudden? She looks exactly fucking like Michelle. Like, granted, the twins don't look like them anymore, but she does. Like, who was it? Somebody posted, it might have been Jason that posted, like, Elizabeth Olsen is what everybody thought the twins were going to grow up to look like. And so I didn't get that trending thing. Like, who didn't know that? Like,
anyway. It's pretty funny, man.
It's
pretty freaking funny. Well, anyway, guys, thank you for a jam-packed episode of 151. Man, I mean, it's literally our moniker, guys. If it's going down in Hollywood, we're talking about it.
Darn right.
That's why we're here. We're here to report that news to you.
Yeah.
We got to thank our guest one more time, Jeff Blue, for coming on the show. Such an amazing guest, especially, I mean, we don't really get the chance to talk to a lot of music people, and our goal for this year was to talk to different people. And, I mean, why not a freaking epic music producer like himself?
That's right.
You know, I mean, such good pieces of advice and such an honest individual, to be honest with you, and worked with so many cool artists. So it was really cool to have him on the show. Be sure to follow him at Jeff Blue Music, I believe, on both Instagram and Twitter.
Yep, and buy his book.
Yes, buy his book. Sounds very inspirational.
Yes.
And be sure to follow the company on social media at Crazy Ant Media. And of course, you guys know you can follow the podcast on social media at ItCaf Podcast. And you guys know you can follow us both individually on social media. Myself at JLo Fantastic.
And Crazy Ant Guy 1970.
That's right.
I remembered it this week.
There you go. Yeah, you had that little brain fart
that little
last
hiccup
week.
last week. It's fine. I've got coffee this week.
Yeah,
Lots of it.
Ready to go. Ready to go. But guys, you know you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. If you're watching this video on YouTube, hello. You see Peanut. This is why you guys need to watch the YouTube video so you can see the adorable puppy dog, man. He is just a great freaking dog. We got so lucky with him. But be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for all the latest and greatest crazy notifications. And be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can donate to the Patreon page and start rocking the new merchandise gear, guys.
Yes.
It looks so good. Like we've been talking about, a lot of people have been asking for podcast merch, and we're trying to provide that to you.
That's right.
So So, I mean, you ask and you shall receive.
That's right.
But man, it was such a good show. Honestly, the whole industry news segment, I was very surprised by Paramount Plus having so much stuff. This might be the most we've ever talked about Paramount.
I mean, like, seriously, it's normally like them giving shit away.
Yeah.
But like, no, that is like, and I mean, I'm just gonna say it. My favorite part, obviously, you guys know all the superhero stuff. But aside
I think you
from
say that every week.
No, it's true because I'm a geek. Hello, look at my shit. Everybody knows I'm a geek. It's fine. It's fine. But my favorite was Frasier. Yeah, I am so. I know you're excited about that. I'm gonna say it. I know I said it earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm so fucking excited about Frasier.
I know.
I'm kind of bummed because that kind of sort of maybe means no Last Tycoon.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope for that, but I'm gonna take Frasier because Frasier's a win, right? And I just,
I know, and it's so cool to see Disneyland finally somewhat reopening. I mean, trying to get back to normal. I mean, that's what we're all striving for, really. Yep. And I mean, Terminator, an animated series that I'm just so intrigued of what that's gonna be like.
Yeah, and not just animated, but anime.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be.
I know.
I mean, it's gonna be weird to see like an anime Arnold,
right?
And will Arnold voice it? That's just gonna be crazy.
And is James Cameron gonna be executive producer?
I don't know.
Like
we'll find out.
The real question. But of course, you guys know we love Oprah. Has that interview came out with Harry and Meghan yet?
Nope, not yet.
Stay tuned. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, it's close though. It's like right around the corner.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, it's happening with the only O that matters. You know her. We love her. Oprah!